Welcome to Music Matters on KMKR LP 99.9 FM, where music brings community together. And now your host, Tyler Woods.
Hi, this is Tyler Woods, and you're listening to KMKR LP 99.9 FM Tucson. And this is Music Matters. And today I have in the studio
Mike Geller
and
Julie Buck.
And these guys are going to woo you with some really absolutely wonderful jazz. Mike has his guitar here. And what is that guitar? It's gorgeous.
I love it. It's made by Gary Mortoro, Mortoro. He studied with Benedetto, who's a real well-known guitar maker. And I picked this up at a show. He had just made it, and it was just incredible. I was on a 4-year waiting list for another guitar, and then this guitar just spoke to me. So, it was made from wood cut in Verona, Italy, in the 40s that he held on to for 10 years before he made the guitar. Carved top, and it's really beautiful. I still love it.
Yeah, thank you for letting me kind of piddle with it. That was nice. You know, some people don't like you touching their guitars, but it's beautiful, and you play beautifully. And y'all are going to hear them play here shortly when we get about to the 5 or 6 minute marker. And your voice is lovely.
Thank you.
Alto-ish.
Yes, definitely.
And I love that. And you said you sang with Bunny Kirby.
Yes, Bunny and I were in a girls' trio. This would have been back in the early 80s.
So how long have you been in Tucson?
I've been in Tucson 3 years this next month.
Oh, so did you know Bunny elsewhere?
Yes, this was in North Dakota.
Bunny's from North Dakota.
Well, she's from Arizona originally, but lived in North Dakota.
Oh, I'm going to have to surprise her when I get in here when her CD comes out.
So
North Dakota, huh, Bunny?
We were so surprised to both be in Tucson, and we discovered that, and we had to get together right away.
Awesome.
She did some recording in my little studio, and just very nice to rekindle. Her voice is just grown.
I just love listening to her.
Isn't she wonderful? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know her real personally. I know her as I go to Monterey Court or some places.
Sure. And
I listen to her and enjoy her thoroughly. Well, welcome to KMKR today, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're a transplant?
Yeah, I've lived in Maryland all my life until 3 years ago. And, I was closer to the D.C. area, so I could be near more jazz musicians. And my wife and I decided to move to Tucson for the majority of the year. I still have a house in western Maryland on a lake in the mountains, and I sail in a sailboat race. So when I came to town, I'm not a big fan of jam sessions, but I wanted to go meet people, so I went around to the jam sessions, and one was led by Eric Mellon for a while there. I guess it was about a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I sat in a couple of times, and then I think the last time I sat in, Julie came and sat in.
Nice.
And she called her a couple of tunes that I knew. Since I Fell For You, and I knew the verse. I don't know if we played the verse then, but I can't remember. I thought we really had a connection. I loved her. She's the first person I had heard in Tucson that sang with soul and
passion.
Loves
much passion.
Just loves to sing. And I was getting ready to go back to Maryland for the summer, and I said, I think we could, play well as a duo together. Do you want to get together before I leave, just to see if we think it'll work, so we'll know maybe we'll work on tunes or we'll have something to look forward to. And we got together and we loved it. And when I came back about a year ago, we started playing together and started getting gigs.
Good. Where do you guys play at?
Well, on Monday nights, every Monday evening from 5:30 to 7:45, we're at Catalina Craft Pizza.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's jazz and blues.
Everybody is going there.
It's a great place.
I need
and
to
they're
get there.
so supportive of music. They have a lot of acts. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
They treat us like gold. And we have this really nice little crowd that comes back to see us. And we're very instrumental in taking requests. And if we don't know them, we learn them for the next week.
Nice.
And so we got people coming back to.
So you're there on every Monday?
Yes.
Catalina Craft Pizza.
And then every other Wednesday, we're at the Omni Tucson at
Nice.
Legends on the patio. It's beautiful.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
Same kind of setup. So that's every other Wednesday. And we also play Cafe Torino
Yep.
here and there, Saddlebrook.
We played at Saddlebrook
Oh,
some
Saddlebrook
for
is-
special events. Valentine's Day
Yes.
last year we played, and we played a few other places here and there.
So you guys enjoy performing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There are some people that do music because they just want to do music in their front room. And there's some people who are true entertainers and they love performing. I'm an entertainer. I love to get out there and share with others. No ego involved. I just like sharing. It's like, it's a nice thing that you can share from your heart and your feelings
Absolutely.
with
And
total strangers.
it's fulfilling.
It
It's,
is.
you know, and when you get that reciprocal circle going on with the audience, it's like magic.
It is magical.
You know,
I
so that's
love
where
that.
performing, you know, nothing else
Yeah,
does that like
is,
performing.
It is wonderful. I've been entertaining since I was about 10 or 11. My first band was called The Peace Factory. And so that tells you how far back that was. And I thought it was pretty cool. I'm sure we sucked, but, you know, I didn't care.
Well, my
It's like-
first performance was when I was about 6 years old with the hairbrush on my mom and dad's in the restaurant by the picture window. There was a radiator. So
Oh.
the coffee, the farmers would come in for coffee in the morning, and I would come out of the curtain and sing little Shirley Temple tunes, and so I started.
It's the good shit.
Yes.
A lollipop. There you go.
Started quite
Awesome.
early.
Well, let's talk about performing. Your most embarrassing moment on stage.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Come
lot of
on,
years. You're talking a lot of
no.
years. Well, there
More
were.
recent, I mean, who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's
Last year, I was at the Folk Fest, and the porta potties were right in back at the stage, and I thought, oh, I better go pee real quick before, and I fell out of the porta potty.
Oh, no.
People had to come pick me up, and I had to get my butt on stage, and it was the most. I would say that's been one of my most embarrassing moments, is to have the porta potty kind of pour me out.
Yeah, yeah, I could see where that could be. I do remember one time, and I was performing with Buddy Knox. If you remember him from the 50s, he had Come Along and Be My Party Doll. And we did a concert somewhere. My boot got stuck in the crack of the
These
stage.
boots were made for walking.
Yeah, they weren't made for moving. And it was stuck. And I couldn't move, and I thought I was going to fall down.
Oh,
And
my
so
gosh.
while I'm singing, I had to remove the boot in the middle of the song just to be able to move. That was quite
Did you go, this is all part
tricky.
of the act. What about you, Mike?
I can't think of one.
Yeah, you look like a man who probably has not really had an embarrassing moment.
I'm sure I've had, you know, or at least embarrassed myself, but about my playing or something. But both of us, Julie and I, feel really fortunate to have met.
No kidding.
I've been playing with a vocalist, first she lived in New York, and then she moved to Maryland for 20 years. And obviously we have a connection, and you know, I think it's really rare to be able to find someone, to come across someone that you can connect musically so well. And to me, that's what music is all about.
It
You know, I
truly is.
Yeah.
don't like to do solo gigs, because the whole thing about music for me is the interaction with the musicians and the connection.
Yeah, I do like when there's an energetic connection there, because to me, music is energy.
Absolutely.
And I believe energy is extremely contagious, and you have to have another force that helps it grow.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And we can intertwine with each other. We are understanding each other's style the more that we
right.
play together.
I heard that when you guys are practicing and doing this. That was great. Well, hey, we've hit now the 9-minute mark. So what was the first song you wanted to do for us?
Well, let's.
I thought about you.
Okay.
I Thought About You. So here they are with I Thought About You. And by the way, they're doing this live in the studio, so just letting you know.
I took a trip on a train and I thought about you. I passed a shadowy lane, and I thought about you. 2 or 3 cars parked under the stars, a winding street, moon shining down on some little town, and with each beam the same old dream. And every stop that I made, well, I thought about you. And when I pulled down the shade, well, I really got blue. But then I peeked through the crack and looked at the track, the one going back to you. And what did I do? I thought about you. I took a trip on a train, and I thought about you. I passed a shadowy lane, and I thought about you. There were 2 or 3 cars parked under the stars, a winding street, moon shining down on some little town, and with each beam the same old dream. And every stop that I made, well, I thought about you. And when I pulled down the shade, well, I really got blue. But then I peeked through the crack and looked at the track, the one going back to you. And what did I do? Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I thought about you.
Okay, that's great. You play that guitar like a real pro. How long have you been playing?
Since I was 9.
There you go. There you go.
I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan at, let's see, I think I was 7. And I started playing. My sisters had guitars laying around the house that they didn't play much, and I fooled around with them. But then I think I started taking lessons and playing at 9, and then just played since then. You know, I grew up having rock bands and
Yeah.
playing like Jimi Hendrix and Steely Dan and James Taylor and Stevie Wonder, and
I'm hearing you.
things like that. And then when I got into college, someone turned me on, a real guy who's into jazz, knew what to play for me. He played a recording by Oscar Peterson and Joe Pass, Sal Playa, something, in a live album in France. And I was just amazed how they could play, how they were playing together, improvising, and I got hooked then, and been working on playing jazz since.
Excellent. It's funny, I was just on Facebook recently looking for some jazz musicians, because it was something I haven't covered here, and all kinds of people were responding. I didn't know Tucson had so much jazz until recently. And do you guys participate in the Jazz Fest at all here?
Haven't at this point.
Well,
I volunteered.
I've gone to it, to the concerts. They have great concerts. I've gone to a lot of them.
Folk Fest?
No.
Okay. Well,
I have not been to that.
The Folk
But I
Fest?
want to. I want to this year.
It is like, it's like I see it as like a mini Woodstock on the Woodstock of folk. I mean, what is it? 5, 6, 7 different stages. They've got new stages. I know quite a few members on the board of directors, and people like Greg Aiken, Jerry Martin, the Aspen Green. These people just bust their behind, making sure that we have our little folk stock now. So do check it out.
I hope I'm in town this year. I was gone last year. So I couldn't make
Well,
it.
and they changed it because they used to do it a little later, and it was just getting too hot.
Oh, is it in the summer when I'm not here?
No,
probably in
it's
the
probably no.
spring.
They do it in April now.
Oh, okay.
So I think April is when they were doing it in May, and now they're doing it in April.
Okay,
So.
if it was May, I probably missed it, but April I could.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I can just see the station getting calls now. What's exciting for you guys? Are you guys going to ever do any studio work? Do you guys want to tour? Do you guys want to do anything major? Tell us what's going on.
Well, we definitely want to do some recording. We started last year just dabbling, at Mike's house, and that was a lot of fun. And I think that we would get some really good, products. And we've learned so many great tunes. But I think what's exciting for us now is connecting with people, being able to learn their requests, and then just seeing them light up when you do the song. That means a lot. Last night it happened where this couple came in where they were listening to us, and they came up and gave us a tip and said how much they enjoyed it, and they just stood back a little longer, and we called Autumn Leaves. So we started doing Autumn Leaves. Well, they told us after that he had just said to his wife, "I just wish I could hear Autumn Leaves."
Oh, that's so
And then
nice.
we happened to do
We
the
had
song.
only played it once before. We
Right.
learned it because someone who goes to the Monday night thing requested it.
Oh, cool.
So it's that
cool.
kind of serendipity that just makes everybody feel good, that.
Now, your crowd, jazz is a different venue, so do you think you have a good crowd? Is it an older crowd? Is it a younger crowd? Boy, do I wish younger people would listen to jazz.
Well, there is a good example of that is some of the jams that go on in Tucson, where they're young people playing jazz, and they're wonderful.
That's awesome.
It is. I would say that our crowd is definitely 60 and up.
plus.
60 plus.
Well, we're near Saddlebrook Ranch, and those people, as they hear about us, they come down, and it's the music they grew up with, and they love it, and we love it, and we play it at Tucson Omni Resort, and so the residents that live there are retirees. One guy's in his 90s.
Yes.
so
Oh, how
happy.
nice.
And,
But they know all the songs.
And they love the songs, and,
Yeah.
and they say, "Do you know this?" And we say, "No, we'll learn it for next time," and we go back and learn it next time we play, and so the people are thrilled, and it's getting us to learn tunes that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise. Like one person who connected me with Saddlebrook when we were going to play for Valentine's Day, he asked about playing just the two of us. That's like his wife's song, and by Bill Withers, And I wouldn't have picked a song like that to play, and it's become one of our better songs.
Yeah, it's a great
you know?
song
Which
for
song
us.
is it?
Just the
Just
two
the
of
two
us.
of
Just
us.
the two.
Bill Withers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know J.D. Loveland?
No, but I've
He's
heard
a, yeah,
of
he's
him.
he's a really excellent musician that lives in Saddlebrook and does a lot of house concerts there
Oh.
and plays at.
I love doing house concerts. I put
Aren't they
on
the
some
best?
with other great jazz guitarists that I know, and I've played some myself too. That's the best venue.
I do.
Yes.
I call them off-grid gigging.
Yeah.
We have built a stage in our backyard, and so we do that. We just haven't done it lately for
Yeah.
the past. It's been too hot. We just do it spring and fall.
Yeah.
So
We have a
otherwise
couple
it's
house
too hot.
concerts coming up. A couple people have asked us to.
Oh, and those are fun.
Absolutely.
Those are, it's more personal and it's more
Everybody's
money.
there to listen.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's be honest.
And good food. Usually real good food.
Oh yeah. Well, you know.
Well, you asked about what's exciting is to me just playing together with Julian as we get to know each other musically more and more.
Well, and I thought you guys were like a husband and wife team, and then you're like, no, you're married.
No, he's got an adorable wife, and she has become a really good friend to me. She's an upright bass player
I was,
and
the whole
sings.
time you were playing, I kept hearing upright bass. Isn't that weird? So
Oh.
that's interesting.
Well, yeah.
And she sits in with us sometimes and
She
does harmonies.
harmonizes with
Oh,
her, and That's really
nice.
fun.
So she's really a joy. And so I've gotten two really good friends out of the deal.
So yeah, and I love that. I love that thing again when we're talking about a connection and the pieces fit perfect.
Yes,
And you collaborate.
absolutely.
So-
In August, I went to Maryland to visit Mike and Maribeth, and we just had the best time. And between the sightseeing, he took me sailing a couple of times and taught me, that whole thing, which I had never done.
You're like this, like ropes and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
miss water. I love to boat, and I miss water. So that was a blast. And we also did 3 gigs in Maryland.
Well,
So-
do you go away in the summer? Are you smart?
Yeah, so we kept the house by the lake in Maryland in the mountains. So I go there like May to September, and I sail in sailboat race, and then we can connect with our Maryland friends and things like that. We're not here during the hottest part of the year.
That's good. That's good. Because I
Inside.
born and raised here, and we're looking as we look into retiring, getting like a Winnebago or something so that we can leave at least for the summer months, because as we age, it's just too much.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, and the opposite, we were getting tired, my wife before me, of the
Of the
cold and the
colds,
ice.
yeah.
And,
See,
and it's like you just,
Oh.
this is a way of life, you just accept it, and that's like, wait, it doesn't have to be this way. And so my wife was the one who wanted to move and wanted to have a change, and I was reluctant at first, but it's the best decision we've made, and we love Tucson, and people are so friendly. We've met so many musicians that
Sure.
we've connected with,
Sure.
and listeners, and have acquired some good friends, so we're just loving it.
music is all about social aptitude, I say, because you have to have some kind of social aptitude to relate to your audience or the people
Yeah.
who are listening. Hey, speaking of listening, let's do another song. What are we going to hear from you?
Let's do Come Fly With Me.
All right, I love that. So we're going to do Come Fly With Me, and we'll be right back.
Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. So come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll tune his flute for you. So come fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just fly, starry-eyed. Once once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear angels cheer, 'cause we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. So just say the word and we'll beat the birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's so perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. So come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. It's so perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away. Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away.
I love that song. I have a confession, and that is I do like torch singing.
Yeah.
I do like. You've heard of Susan Artemis?
Yes.
She's
Yeah, I played with
wonderful.
her.
She's great.
Oh, she's
great.
wonderful.
The keyboards and everything. So, what got you into wanting to sing torch?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I started singing when I was 4 years old because I heard my mother sing.
Okay.
And she was, of course, a vocalist. And she was doing, you know, songs like Jeepers, Creepers, you know, and I didn't really relate to what type of music that was. I was 4 years old. And, you know, I just, you know, grew up singing with Carole King and Heart, you know, to the albums. And then when I started playing in bands, it was classic rock. I did folk, I did bluegrass, that type of thing. And it took me quite a while before I got into jazz. And I moved to Duluth, Minnesota, where I spent 20 years and started singing at a jazz club. And it instantly, I felt a connection. And you know, it's because it was the type of music my mother was singing. And then I discovered Etta James. And that was
my
it.
God, yeah.
Because I'm just like, okay, that right there is killer. And that's that perfect torch, low, beautiful voice, you know, and that's when I fell in love with that type of music.
I just listened to something the other day on YouTube. It was Etta James with B.B. King. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, can't
it
beat
was
that.
like, holy shamoly. So, what about you? What got you into the type of music that you choose to play? Just meeting the people that you said about earlier, and
Well, the one person who knew what to play for me, but when I was younger, my brother-in-law listened to. I remember we had Oscar Peterson at the time of reel-to-reel tapes.
Yep,
And he had Oscar Peterson, Night Train. So I got exposed to Oscar Peterson and Ray Brown, who's the epitome of bass and swinging, and so just in college I just started listening to more. I first went to try out for the jazz ensemble in college, and there was a pretty good guitarist in the jazz ensemble, and the director told me to go work on it. And he told me to go see this guy in Frostburg, a little college in Western Maryland, who had, I guess he was in his 50s at the time, and played on the West Coast with Anita O'Day and sounded like Oscar Moore, one of Nat King Cole's guitarists. And I started studying with him, and that's the first person I played jazz in public with.
oh, nice. Nice.
So he had this music collection of a lot of guitarists that I hadn't heard of before, Hank Garland and Chuck Wayne, and I just kept getting exposed to all these different guitarists and other musicians.
So when I say the word jazz, what comes to your mind?
Well, for me, it's some of the great female vocalists, Nancy Wilson, and so
Etta
many, Ella
James,
Fitzgerald,
Nina
and,
Simone.
yes, and I think of the classics and the standards, and Frank Sinatra,
Mm.
because I love doing some of the male vocal stuff too. So
Perry Como.
yeah, the greats and the classics.
Mm.
That's what comes to my mind.
What about you?
Well, I think of improvisation for that part of it, but jazz. There's all types of jazz, so and it scares people too.
It is scary because it's such a fusion of. Sometimes I listen to jazz and get real confused, and then I listen to the kind of jazz you guys play, and I get real relaxed. So,
Yes, exactly.
there is so much.
So when I'm talking to a club or something, or someone who's interested, or I'm trying to get booked, I mention that we're a jazz duo, but I say then we play songs from the Great American Songbook, songs that like Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole sang, so they
Jazz
they understand
standards.
that.
Yeah.
And just what I'm talking about too, the classics, the standards.
Because the word jazz can scare people, like if it's like just really out there, if it's horn players who are just squeaking and honking and playing so outside, it's that whole spectrum.
It is.
And,
It's huge. It's as huge as what we classify rock music,
Yeah.
or pop music.
Right.
And it's all different. Like when someone says pop to me, I'm like,
Me too.
but then I hear some people that are classified as pop, and I'm like, oh, that's not so bad.
Right.
And then I hear some, and I'm like, Justin who? No, please. I can't run away fast enough. But listen, we talked about your most embarrassing moments. We've talked about how you guys got together. One more thing, and that is, I don't know, because, I talk to most musicians about this. This may or may not affect you, but technology in today's world, is that helping you or hindering you?
Well, from my standpoint, it's helping me. The equipment that's available, even recording. I started doing my own little recording studio in 2003. I would have never been able to do that if it was still tape.
Right.
So that technology definitely helps. And PA systems, as we spoke
We were
of.
about the Bose system.
Yes,
yeah,
about the
and
Bose
everything.
system, how lightweight and compact it is, yet the sound is incredible.
Exactly.
So I say helps.
I do too. I think it does. But what about you?
Yeah, well, the positive part is how much people have access to find different versions of a song or to learn. I also have a jazz guitar educational site called mikesmasterclasses.com, and I have some of the greatest jazz guitarists in the world giving lessons on that, and it's very rewarding. I have people from around the world who get to study with these people, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Give me that website one more time.
Mike's Master Classes.
.com. Okay. Do you all hear that?
So it's mostly advanced jazz guitar lessons and masters and stuff that you don't really find on a DVD or
Sure.
and it's usually the master just sitting in their living room, covering a topic in front of their computer.
Good.
And I've met a lot of great jazz guitarists. Well, I knew a lot, which is why I started it, but I've also met a lot more since then. That's very rewarding too.
So next step for you guys, just keep on keeping on?
Keep on keeping on, get better gigs, get more gigs, and do some recording, that type of thing.
And learning tunes like we're learning tunes like crazy. Like last week we learned like 8 songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most of them
I
were
noticed
requests.
I can't memorize for Jack.
Well,
But do you
I
memorize
try,
pretty good?
for a spell when I wasn't singing as often, I was reading from the book, so there are still songs that I need to look at. But since we've been doing so many, I think my memory's getting better because I'm really
Awesome.
I just study
Ah,
over and over and over again, and finally sinks in.
excellent. I can't thank you guys enough for coming to the studio and
Thank you, Tyler.
doing this. I love it when people say, "Can I be on the show?" And I'm always, heck yeah, because this town, as you know, and I mention it every single show, and I'll always mention it, Tucson is number 7 in the nation for the best local music.
Wow.
And we are number 7, and I just love that. And I wonder what next year will bring for us. Where will we rise above or go below? But I love that. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Both
Thank
of
you.
Leave me with a song. What you going to leave me with?
Till There Was You,
Till There Was You. And Mike and
Julie.
Julie, I was going to get to it.
Sorry.
Speaking of Till There Was You,
Yes.
when I mentioned that I got into music when I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show,
Yes,
I remember
which is how I got into it.
going downstairs with my brother, and I remember the round 2.
Yes.
And I didn't remember, but after we learned Till There Was You, that was a cover tune that they sang, and it was
Yes.
the second song they sang on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys did a great version of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for now, this is Tyler Woods, KMKR LP 99.9 FM Tucson. I'm going to leave you with Till There Was You, and I'll see you on the other side of this song. For now, Till There Was You.
There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. And then there was music and wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you. There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all, till there was you. And then there was music and wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing.